Alright everyone, it's time to return to the question of will Trump run in 2024? I personally think that the signs generally point to yes, and again, let me give the caveat that I gave before. There are a couple of things that I think would significantly reduce the likelihood that he runs. I think that he's itching to run. I think that nothing would be happier to him. He wouldn't enjoy anything more than being the second person in U.S. history to have 2 non-consecutive terms, especially when it would give him the chance to run on the I told you so platform against Biden, who really at this point is already having a failing presidency. New polling suggests that in a matchup today, Trump would probably win already, and Biden I don't think is going anywhere but down because the jobs reports are in the wrong direction, inflation's in the wrong direction, the border crisis is still there, although it doesn't get talked about a lot, and now you have a potential hostage crisis in Afghanistan. All of this and more has happened in Biden's first year in office, in asterisk office. I think that the first thing that would derail Trump, and I've pointed this out, is if he has a health problem. People would say, well, Trump will be 77 if he runs, when he's running. They'll say, you've got this dude, he's having health issues or something. I think there's a reason that he slimmed down. There's a new picture of him out. He's lost apparently 15 pounds. He's on a new diet. There's a huge difference between how he looks now and how he looked a few months ago. There's also a huge difference between how he looks and how Biden looks. And if you get the two of them on the stage and Trump has slimmed himself down 30 pounds, is no longer even overweight, looks kind of like he did in the fucking 2000s actually, looks far better, and Biden has continued to age and mentally decline, if he's the candidate, it'll be, I think, a shoo-in. Trump, I think, realizes this. And I'm almost thinking that Trump doesn't give a shit that he lost this last election because having 2 non-consecutive terms would flummox the left even more. I think he would genuinely enjoy it. So that's one possibility. He has health issues. The other possibility is if Biden has health issues, and I tried to explain why. Trump would be roughly the same age in 2024 that Biden was in the 2020 election. If people, therefore, are saying, well, Biden had to resign because he had another aneurysm or something, are we really going to do this again with someone who's literally elderly? That could be a problem. It could dissuade him from trying to run. It could embolden his primary opponents, which he would probably at that point have. As opposed to if, Biden is the one running, or Biden, serves his term and says, well, I'm just not going to seek re-election, but he doesn't have a health problem, Trump will smell blood in the water, he'll probably get in. Another reason is because repeatedly, in polls among people who are likely to vote in the Republican primaries, Trump runs away with it if he's present. That is, he gets between 75 to 90% of the vote, depending on the in-party demographic. I think he would also run away with independent voters in open primary states. It might be a clean sweep quite easily. He also has the technical incumbency. Technically speaking, the former incumbent from the party runs again. It would be historically normal for Trump to attempt to run again. This has happened before. Now, usually it's not successful. And only once was it successful, with Grover Cleveland, of course, in the non-consecutive sense. But keep in mind why Grover Cleveland ran the second time and won. It was because the person who had replaced him fucked up. Essentially, people got buyer's remorse. Echoes of 2020, anybody? Or 2021 at this point? It seems quite similar. If Joe Biden continues to fail, and he is, and is likely to do so, barring a significant recovery, he would be unlikely to be re-elected again. Again, Biden will be, in his 80s. He'll be 81 years old. He's significantly older. I realize that having a matchup between 2 elderly people, isn't the greatest thing that you could have happen, but I think that Trump is inclined to run. I think that he's taking his diet seriously for that reason. He's trying to slim down. I think that he's trying to improve himself. He's trying to spit shine every aspect of himself. You'd probably look forward to seeing a slightly more presidential Trump if he runs as well and saying, well, I was the president. I did all these great things. Look what Joe's done. He's, destroyed the sandcastle, and now everything's fucked up. We have to try again. He'd probably win on that ticket. And most of his credible opponents have either insinuated or outright stated explicitly they won't run if he does. That includes DeSantis. Rand Paul insinuated it. Ted Cruz, I don't think, is going to get in there. That's basically the list of people likely to run. I mean, another one would be Don Jr. That'd be funny if Donald Trump runs, but then his son runs against him and says, well, I believe everything that he says, but, you know, I'm only in my 40s or 50 or something now. That'd be hilarious. It'd be funny if all the eligible Trumps ran at the same time. So Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Don Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, all of them, Kushner gets in, and they're all running for the presidency. Imagine them up all on a debate stage airing their, like, apprentice-style family dirty laundry about one another, and how funny that would be. I digress. I think that Trump is inclined to run. Keeping that in mind, there are ways that he could potentially be dissuaded from that. But again, Biden having a health issue probably be worse than if Trump had one. Because if it's not a major health issue, he'd say, well, yeah, you voted for the dude with aneurysms that kept falling down, so, you know, the fact that I had angina, who cares? You know, look at me, I look reasonably healthy, and for someone in his mid-70s, he's definitely repaired the way that he looks. He was getting a little bit puffy towards the end there, and I genuinely think that a lot of it had to do with stress. His schedule, flying to 3 or 4 places a day will take a toll on a person, mentally, psychologically, physically. But he's still garnering crowds that dwarf anything Biden can garner. And he is, even though he's been silenced by the legacy media and by legacy tech networks, even then, he more effectively answers questions, parlays with reporters when, you know, they talk to him at all, which is not often unless it's Fox or something. When he's out there talking to people, it's like night and day. Biden gives a terse speech and then turns around 180 and walks away. Doesn't take questions. If he does, he stumbles. Trump sits there and talks for an hour. The crowd is in a frenzy, to the point where they tried to attack him by saying, oh, look, that one time he mentioned vaccines being fast-tracked and he got booed by part of his own audience. This is considered a win by the liberals for optical purposes, just to be clear. But I think he's likely to run. Again, barring one of those things. Things really get better under Biden, which I think we can pretty much discount the likelihood of that, although the legacy media is still hoping for that. Biden, you know, croaks or has an aneurysm and is 25th or something, or Trump has a health issue. I mean, he is in that age range where you get up into your 70s, it's difficult to maintain yourself. That if anyone has the willpower to sort of clean up their body and you know, get fit or something, it'd be Trump. It'd be funny if he did weightlifting or something. He comes out without a shirt on, he's all fucking muscly or something. He's like, oh, look at this, you should definitely vote for me. I really am God Emperor. I got iodine from Alex Jones. Now I feel like a totally brand new man. I feel like I'm 40 again. Wouldn't that be funny? That's about all. Peace out.